Right. We are recording on Monday, the 23rd of July, just over a week before the Women's Euro starts. And what better time to introduce the podcast's local team in focus for 2025-26, Rogerstone AFC Ladies. And I'm joined by Abby, Holly, and Connie. Good evening to all of you.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased that we picked Rogerstone for this coming season, partly because Rogerstone is a bit of Newport that I know best, and I'm looking forward to spending a bit of time there and watching some games once the season starts, but also from what I've seen on social media, and we'll probably talk about it a bit later on, this seems like a really fun team full of people who are enjoying their football. So let's start with introductions then. Abby, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Abby. I play in goal. You'll see from our scoreline, if anyone's checked, that's probably a fairly difficult position to be in the club, but it's definitely, pushed me out of my comfort zone, but in a totally good way, and I've had plenty of support from everyone on the team and the coaches. So yeah, that's me.
Great. Holly?
My name's Holly. Up until about 16 months ago, I'd never touched a football. So brand spanking new first season and right in at the deep end. I'd say I'd probably want to play defensively, but as you can see, we've been focusing on our defensive approach this last season. So I've spent most of it running around after the ball up front. And again, as Abby said about it being a difficult position in goal, I'm probably to blame for the fact that we haven't scored very much as well, or at least partly to blame, so I could take that bit.
And how about you, Connie?
Connie, I am midfield / up front / kind of wherever Phil says, Connie go there, Connie go here, Connie run. That is my position, basically.
Well, you've alluded to last season already, and one of the things that attracted us to pick Rogerstone Ladies is that last season was your first competitive season, right? And perhaps unsurprisingly, given that, it looked like a bit of a baptism of fire. So tell us about it in a nutshell.
The plan was to launch the team in the season 23 to 24, but I think there were so many new teams that they delayed it. So Phil started the team last May with 8 players, and we've been building ever since. We've got 34 active players at the end of last season, which was great. But with that, sport its challenges. Most of the team hadn't ever played football, let alone 11-a-side. And we've got some great sort of experienced players on the team, and we've really relied on them to, I guess, help us build our resilience and pull us through that season.
Yeah, I guess we've learned as a team to celebrate the small wins. We've had losses where they've kind of felt like a win. We had one particular team we played them pre-season and we lost by well into the double digits. And then we played them later on the season and we lost by 4-0. And 4-0 to some teams might have been, a bad loss. But for us, it felt like a victory in the sense of we showing the improvement that we've made in such a small space of time. Yeah, so I think that's really important for us as a team and as a collective, is to all stick together, support each other, regardless of the scoreline and the hardship that we've had to go through.
And yeah, I'm looking down the results from last season. And as you say, there were a few kind of double-digit defeats and stuff there that I'm sure you don't want to dwell on, but like you say, if you start the season with 8 players and some of them have not played a huge amount of football before, it's about, I guess, what you learn from it and then how you can then put that into practice. So, what has been that process, I guess, over the last few months of going, right, that first season's done and we never have to think about it again. How do we brace ourselves for second season?
I don't even think it's the case of we want to forget about it, because it's our first season altogether. Yeah, we got smashed sometimes, but we had a hell of a laugh. Everyone came on with smiles on their faces, came off with smiles on their faces, and we're paying to play. It's all about fun. It's all about having a bunch of girls that we all that one thing in common. We come to training, we have a laugh, we take it seriously, and then on those Sundays, then we have a laugh, win or lose. We're still happy about that. But then moving forward, I think we're going to be taking kind of those building blocks and just kind of just keep going up and up and up, and it will eventually click. It always does. I kind of came in early with Newport City Ladies, and it was very similar. You're all learning how to play with each other. There's different people who have played for different teams, so you've got to learn that. Okay, maybe if, say, Abby kicks it down the field, Connie won't get it, but potentially another striker will come in and get it, and it's learning. Abby can kick it that far. X, Y, and Z is going to be there. And it's just learning who can go where, who can run that fast, who works better with the 1-2s, the dribbling, that kind of thing. So it's kind of just working on those little things, and it's definitely coming. If not, it's definitely there. It just needs tuning. And I think this season, going into players and teams that are more at our level, the confidence will then come as well.
And I mean, structurally, it seemed to me last year that the South Wales Women's and Girls League, because there were so many new clubs starting, and there was that kind of weird pre-season. It wasn't like it was
like a feeder group.
Yeah, feeder groups, and then they set the leagues, and so it was all a little bit in turmoil. Whereas I guess this year, probably they'll know from the off. They'll have teams playing at a slightly more at their own sort of level, a bit more.
It was a humbling experience for sure, because there were teams there that they just changed their name, but they've been playing incredibly for years, and they've got a really good group of female players that all know kind of where they go, and they are then playing people like us who, again, like Holly said, there's people that have not played kind of this kind of football before. So yeah, that's humbling, but we still had a laugh.
And that seems really important. And I mean, it really struck me, looking through the Instagram feed of the team, it came across so strongly as a team who are loving life, involved in sport for all the right reasons. Tell us, tell us about some of those videos on Instagram. Like, who's the brains behind them, and how have those all come about? Because they've been superb to watch.
Well, Michaela's she's the mastermind behind all the madness, isn't she? So
Absolutely.
yeah, we have to give credit to her. I mean, I think the Instagram videos pretty much sums up the team. We make those videos just before we go out on the pitch. We're all having a laugh, listening to music. That's what's important. I mean, the game is something we all want to be there. We all want to play football, but at the end of the day, we're all friends as well, and we all get on really well. And I think the Instagram page really reflects that. It reflects our ability to have a laugh, but also take things seriously. We can make those videos, and then 10 minutes later, out on the pitch, doing our drills, doing our warm ups, and getting ready for the game.
I think for me, what the Insta page does is, like, it sounds a bit cliche, but it shows you the people behind the players. So like, I was always like, oh, people who play football are really, really sporty. They're going to have played since they were young. There's absolutely no room for somebody like me to come along. And actually, if you were to watch that, you'd think, yeah, it is about the fun. It is about the social. And actually, yes, it's about fitness and football as well, but it's a combination of all those things. And it doesn't work without one of those. Like we said, we wouldn't have gotten through this season if we didn't have that fun, that social connection underpinning everything. And like we say, Mick absolutely portrays that so well on the Insta page. It's really engaging, and yeah, I think she does a great job.
Listeners, we will put a link in the show notes. So if you're on Instagram, give the team a follow, because their antics are a lot of fun to watch. In terms of the kind of nuts and bolts for next season, then, how can people keep track of your progress, and where are you playing your games next season?
So there's the app, there's that Cymru app. I don't know if it's called Cymru.
Cymru Football, yeah.
That's it. So we'll be on there. Social media, we're big on that. Our home games are at the Fugitives down in Newport, or is that High Cross up there? And then it'll be kind of, to be fair, like, we haven't actually played a home game there last season because it was kind of being done up. We were down at the Welfare in Rogerstone, which was a nice pitch, but it was massive and hard. It was such a hard pitch to play on. It looks amazing, but when you're on it, you're blowing at your butt. Honestly, it's a really horrible pitch to play on. So I'm excited to do it at the Fugees.
And what are the big games? I mean, have you, after that first season, got any rivalries going?
Every game is a serious game. Everyone we want to take down. We want to show them. They'll look at the app and they'll go, oh, these bloody girls from Rogerstone, we'll smash them. And that's kind of where we'll have a laugh, and we'll do these Instagram videos and stuff, but then we get on the pitch, and we really do want to do well this year, because we kind of got something to prove. Like, we're not going anywhere. We want to keep going up and up and up. And I think every game will be important. Every game will be fierce and ferocious, but I think we'll still come off with a smile on our face. Maybe a couple of bruises here and there. But again, that's the great part, because the next day then on the WhatsApp, Rufus, look at this bruise, look at this. Oh, I've got a broken arm now. We love it. Absolutely love it.
I think, yeah, big shout out for Nikki Goodfellow, who's the chairperson, she's really focused on upgrading that pitch. So the stand is looking fantastic. Like we said, we perhaps haven't played there as much as we would have liked to last season, because obviously looking after the quality of the pitch, the weather didn't help. I think it felt like it rained for pretty much half the season for us. And then the other season it was baking hot. So I don't know what we all did in a past life, but it must have been terrible. But yeah, really looking forward to having that home ground, particularly as we absolutely love going back to the clubhouse after. Can't lie. And we have done that as well throughout the season. Even if we played an away match, and perhaps we haven't managed to congregate at the away clubhouse, we've come back. And again, I know we've talked about it, but it is about that connection across the team and wanting to spend that time, debrief, celebrate each other's, like we said, small wins. So somebody might have played more minutes in a game than they did last week. Somebody might have had some really great touches on the ball. It's not all about scoring. It is just about that progress for us.
Yeah. And your season starts in September, is that right?
Yeah, I believe it should. I don't think we have a definitive date, do we? Unless I'm wrong.
No, but I think we're looking forward to some friendlies getting put in now across the summer as we get back into pre-season, which is, I think we've only got one more week off. I think that's right, isn't it, girls?
That we're back next week, aren't we? The 3rd of July.
3rd of July.
So 3rd of July we start training again. So that's when the serious business kicks off.
And have you got any new players coming in?
Yeah, we're doing well on the recruitment front. I think we've had a fair few people join our WhatsApp group and hopefully join the training on the 3rd. But yeah, there's always room for more people. And I think it's important. I think especially for people like search up our Instagram page, they'll see how inclusive it can be. And Holly's totally right. Like it isn't just for you people that you just think, you look and think, oh, they're really athletic, they're really fit, they're really good at football. It is for everyone, all ages. We're open to any kind of new people coming in, people that have never kicked a ball before in their life, or people that are certainly more experienced. We're looking for sort of anyone that can bring something to the table.
Definitely. And I mean, for anyone who's got that hangover of not being picked for a team or being left on the bench, we've all had the opportunity for minutes on that pitch, felt really lucky to have that. But what I would say is it's not only about playing on the pitch as well. Like, I'm really lucky the team, so the club are putting me through my Football Leaders Award. That's me protecting my career as I closely approach retirement, having turned 40 this year. So, but I still want to be involved in the club, and even if that's on the sidelines. So even if playing isn't for everyone, then there are other opportunities there. Officials, it would be great to see more women officials on the pitch as well.
Brilliant. Well, I will put a few links in the show notes, so if people want to find out more, then hopefully they'll have all the links they need to do so. But Abby, Connie, Holly, thank you so much for your time. Good luck for the season. Stay in touch. Tell us when there are some games coming up where you need a big crowd, and we will do our best to get the 90 Drive Exiles listeners along.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Cheers.